we've got a couple things here that are relevant to what we just brought up in the messages, like within the last 2 days. Hold on. First and foremost was that in the energy, we had that possessiveness, that jealous energy pop up, right? With the fish thing. What was it? There's a million fish in the sea, but that's my fish. Don't touch my fucking fish. If you touch my fucking fish, I'm going to put this hook down your throat and drag you to the bottom so you can find your fish. Something along those lines. So that video got made, yesterday? And then today, minding my own business. Well, I guess, should I go further back? What do you think, Spirit? Okay. So, Jim Crush came in today, and he looked like he wanted to talk to me. He was like, he got the hello, how are you, but somebody else was checking him in. And then somebody else was waiting to get checked in, so I had to help them. And he had this look that reminded me of, it was an echo of the Twin Flame, because I did the exact same thing to the Twin Flame. When he first started trying to take little moments to talk to me, I would just prioritize helping the customer instead of prioritize talking to him. And at one point he felt kind of snubbed, I guess. But he would just stand there for a second, realize that I wasn't going to be done right away, and then, he'd walk off. And I didn't realize what he was trying to do then. But then, shortly thereafter, I had the vision of the tattoo. And that was when I was like, oh my God, he was trying to have a moment. And I felt that after the fact. So at that point, I was like, all right, next time I see him. And, I flirted back next time I saw him, and he was like, oh, okay, yeah. He didn't get it at first. He was like, I didn't think I was on your radar, but then here we are. Okay, leaning into it. And it almost reminded me of that, where he was just standing at the register for an extra second, waiting for there to be something else, waiting for us to keep on talking. And then it turned into a more involved situation with whoever was up behind him. So I didn't get that opportunity. And instantly I was like, shit, But I couldn't snub the customer in order to spend extra time talking to him. Because this is kind of a pivotal juncture where we're coming up to the point where it's conversations are just starting to progress, but we've only just broached the surface, right? So, anyway, not that long afterwards, I see this lady who's very attractive also. She's in the gym all the time, and I just see her talking to him, and which is not abnormal. He talks to everybody. He literally is one of the most social people I've ever seen. He knows everybody there, and he always says hello to everybody. That's not abnormal. But everybody he usually says hello to are dudes. They're other gym rats, you know what I mean? It's not it's not a romantic situation with any of them. What do I do with my pants? So anyway, this lady, who I know for a fact knows how to work the equipment, is just over there oh, can you help me with this? I'm helpless. I can't figure out how to work this. You're so strong. Can you do this? And I'm making up this conversation because I just saw it through glass, right? I saw it from across the gym. And, of course, he's helping her figure it out and put the weight to the perfect amount and, just get everything sorted for her and testing it out. And, they're talking and whatever. And he's polite. He's not going to, snub anybody. But then, later on, she tracks him down on the way out, and they, start walking out the front door together. And I'm like, bye, guys. And he kind of had that, that prolonged eye contact where you're trying to communicate with just your eyes. And I think that the message that I was supposed to receive was it's not a thing. Not a thing. I'm prioritizing you. But I can't know for sure without being in his head. But nonverbal eye contact communication is my preferred method, and at the very least, I think I got the message. And then a couple minutes later, he came back, and I got excited because he came back. It wasn't like he was leaving the gym, but he did walk her to her car, which, any gentleman would. I can't even be mad about that, I guess. But I had this, jealous, possessive energy. That's my fucking fish. What going on while all this was happening? And he came back in to talk to his other friend, and then he walked back out with his other friend. And on his way out, he stopped and said, "Hey, can I ask you a question?" And he asked me about the origin story for my name, and I didn't have time to tell him the whole thing. So I said, it's a long story. I'm a life coach, blah blah blah. It's kind of a walk in your purpose kind of thing. And he basically said, "I love that. That's awesome. It's a really cool name." And I guess he thought that there was going to be some kind of he had preconceptions about what I was going to be like. And while the thought wasn't totally communicated, I think it was just that the message was "Hey, I think you're cool, love your name," that kind of thing. But that's all it was. And once again, there's nothing verbal to cement intentions here. But I felt some kind of way. And I think that's why that whole message came up yesterday about the fish. Because anybody that spends this much time in the gym is going to be approached. They just are. That's a natural part of, if you have an attractive significant other, that's going to be something that happens, period. And you can't expect them to be rude or unreasonable or, anything else to somebody that approaches them in that way. So I think the test for me here was not taking that situation and assuming anything or reacting to anything. We've been saying this, everything happens for a reason. And if Spirit is testing the jealousy reflex to make sure that our reactions are in line, that's not something that probably could have happened in a long distance or digital scenario. You know what I mean? That's not something that could have been tested in any other way. So maybe that's just one example of one of the things that Spirit's trying to pressure test here. But we got to show exactly what we've learned. And I don't feel any kind of way now, clearly. The lady's really nice. I actually really enjoyed her the few times that we've talked. And I can't blame her for being interested. I can't blame him for being polite. And while I don't have any kind of proof of his intentions or anything like that, I don't need it. Right now, where we're at is occasional conversation when time allows. And I'm not owed anything else. I don't owe him anything else. Nobody owes anybody anything. But I do think there was an attempt to communicate intention in a way. So, I don't know. That's been my day. I'm about to work out. I just changed. And I'm doing laundry every single day pretty much, man. Essentially every single day I have to wash my uniform and then my workout clothes. And I just do the exact same thing again tomorrow. Just going through the same stuff over and over again. But you know what? It's working. I ate Chick-fil-A too. My sister got me Chick-fil-A and I wasn't about to turn down a chicken sandwich and mac and cheese. It's protein, and that's my second time eating fast food this month. So I feel pretty okay about it. But we're staying strong. We're getting our workouts in. Ace of Swords energy. Maybe we just have to talk about it. for whatever reason,